I am Josh Stein, the Attorney General of North Carolina. Dr. Tilson just went through a host of ways, steps that we can take to prevent the spread of this illness. We also have to prevent fraud and scams, because whenever a crisis like this occurs, there are bad people who will try to exploit people's fear, their desperation, their uncertainty to steal money. When the governor declared a state of emergency last week, that triggered North Carolina's price gouging law. It is now in effect. That means that it is illegal in the state of North Carolina for someone to sell a product that's important for life at an excessively outrageous price, an excessively unreasonable price. We have so far received 136 price gouging complaints, half of which have to do with groceries. The number 2 complaint is hand sanitizer, followed by cleaning products. We are in the process of investigating those complaints. We have not yet concluded that any of them violate the law. If we do so conclude, we will act quickly and aggressively to enforce the law against any price gouger exploiting people's fears. Other types of frauds and scams for people to be aware of are hucksters out there selling products, making promises that simply cannot be true. They were snake oil salesmen in the 19th century. They're snake oil salesmen in the 21st. I just got an email promising me a miracle cure. There are no miracle cures. Dr. Tilson will tell you there isn't a cure, there isn't a vaccine. Science is working hard to try to develop both of those things, but they do not exist. And if someone's promising you that, they are trying to steal your money. In addition to the miracle cures, we are seeing an increase in phishing and telemarketing robocall attempts. The phishing is a perfect example. The one that was promising a miracle cure that I received this morning, I don't think they were trying to get my money. They wanted me to click on an attachment so they could steal my personal information. That's what phishing is all about, making you click something that will create a problem and open up your personal information to criminals. But we also we've heard from our partners both here in North Carolina, the AARP, and our federal partners, the FTC, that there is a robocall scam going on where people are getting calls at home and being told by the local health department that they have come into contact with someone who has the coronavirus and that they must be tested before they can leave their home and they can sell the person a test. Obviously, the local health departments are not doing this and would not do this. So if folks get calls like that, we have a robocall report task force that we've already established to try to protect folks from these criminals. That is 844-8-NO-ROBO. If you get one of these calls, 844-8-NO-ROBO. A final type of scam that occurs whenever there's a disaster, whether it's a hurricane disaster or a viral pandemic, is people trying to exploit folks' charity. We want people to reach out and support our neighbors in times of need, but understand that just because you get an email from an organization that has a good sounding name, or somebody sending you a link on a social networking site about some people who are in desperate need of help, because you get that does not mean it is true. If you want to help, give money to the food bank, give money to the Red Cross, give money to organizations you know will put that money to good use. You want it to go to where you want it to go. You do not want it to line some criminal's pocket. If anyone sees any issues out there where they think there's a scam, or there might be a scam, or there is price gouging going on, we have a toll-free number. Our folks are still able to answer the phones, and that's 877-5-NO-SCAM, 877-5-NO-SCAM, or just go to our website, ncdoj.gov/price gouging, and we will be happy to investigate it, because our primary concern has to be about the public health. It has to be about keeping people healthy and well and alive. But we will not tolerate criminals trying to exploit people's fears to make a quick buck. Thank you.
I don't know if you've received or if the state has received any reports of people, businesses, first of all, who are not complying with the executive orders, and then also people who should be quarantining if they're not complying, and then how is the state responding to those situations if they are happening?
I can't speak to the quarantine. I don't know if either of the others here can. As it relates to the executive order in terms of not attending gatherings above a certain size, or for certain businesses, restaurants, bars to be closed, a failure to comply would be a Class 2 misdemeanor, and that would be enforced by local law enforcement, either police or sheriff's office, in consultation with district attorneys, local district attorneys. I am not aware of any violations or any arrests for violations. That doesn't mean that something hasn't happened that just hasn't come to my attention yet.
On the price gouging cases that you mentioned earlier, is this more coming from, for lack of a better term, third-party vendors, i.e. not major retail chains?
It's a combination of the two. We're seeing people with concerns about prices they're seeing at brand name retailers, but we're also seeing complaints about sale of Purell on eBay or Amazon. And so we have to go through and actually investigate each complaint and determine whether it's valid. Just because a price has increased does not mean it is necessarily price gouging. There may be a reason why the price increased. Maybe the retailer had to incur greater expenses to get that product to the shelf to serve the community, just like Director Sprayberry was saying. These retailers, we should all be very appreciative about how hard they are working in order to ensure they're fully stocked, because a lot of our neighbors are in a moment of panic. And when that happens, they make decisions that aren't entirely rational and buy too much of a certain product, which then just upsets the next 2 or 3 people in line behind them. And so our retailers really are our frontline first responders in this, and we all need to be appreciative of the hard work they're doing. But that doesn't mean every time a retailer is raising their prices it was justified. That's why we have to investigate.
Where is the line? And particularly if somebody's looking at this and going, I wonder if I need to report this.
Yeah, the line is unreasonably excessive. That's what North Carolina law says, which is not a bright line rule. A person seeing a dramatic increase in price will not know whether it was justified. That's why we urge anyone who's concerned about potential price gouging to let our office know. Very easy to do it, 877-5-NO-SCAM or ncdoj.gov/price gouging. Then we can investigate and reach out to the retailer and find out if there was a valid justification or not.